I would like to extend a warm welcome to Minister Cannon here this afternoon and thank him for coming into the Chamber to discuss the allocation of language support teachers and of resource teachers for special needs pupils in schools in the coming school year. Before I begin to address the issues to be raised here this afternoon, may I just begin by saying how honoured I am to be a member of the 24th Seanad and how proud I am to have received a Taoiseach's nomination to this esteemed position. I am a native of Blackrock, Dundalk in County Louth, where I have lived and worked most of my life. I'm delighted to be joined in the Seanad by two other members from Dundalk, Senator Jim Darcy and Senator Terry Brennan. It is my intention as a Senator not only to serve the people of Dundalk and Louth, but the people of the country with enthusiasm, loyalty and dedication. I have always tried to achieve the highest standards in the course of my work as a secondary school teacher and indeed as a resource teacher and as a mother to my 5 teenage children. I am also extremely proud and honoured to have the distinction of being the first ever female member of the Oireachtas from County Louth. I was honoured to receive the nomination from Inclusion Ireland, the Association for People with an Intellectual Disability, to contest the Seanad elections, and I would like to take this opportunity to commend Inclusion Ireland and indeed all disability groups for the tremendous work that they do to improve the lives of people with a disability. As a mother myself of a child with special needs, I am well aware of the lack of services for people with a disability in this country at present. It is my intention to use the Seanad to raise awareness and to address disability issues on an ongoing basis. And may I again reiterate that the recent primetime programme for carers highlights the urgent need for improvement in this area. I've been a secondary school teacher since 1981. I don't admit that to too many people. And in these 30 years, I've seen huge changes in the education system. 30 years ago, interactive whiteboards, internet, never mind broadband, DVD players hadn't been invented. Yet how many schools do have access to these luxuries in today's schools? The previous government continuously promised huge investments in ICT, broadband and promised internet connectivity in every classroom. Yet on leaving school in June 2011, I still hadn't received internet connection in my classroom. Despite 50% of leaving certificate marks being available in music in technology, a survey that I carried out in 2008 while studying for a Master's in Music Technology showed that only 54% of music rooms had even one computer in their classroom and 16% of music rooms had no computer. The programme for government underlines this government's commitment to building a knowledge society and declares education is at the heart of a more cohesive, more equal and more successful society, and it will be the engine of sustainable economic growth. I fully subscribe to this sentiment and believe that education is the key for young people to achieve their full potential. Despite the economic recession, there are clear and tangible objectives for education in the programme for government, particularly in relation to literacy, in relation also to curriculum reform, school management and ICT. Importantly, there is a holistic view of education as a cycle of lifelong learning, from the cradle to the grave, from preschool through primary, secondary and tertiary and adult learning. As the Labour spokesperson on education in the Seanad, I look forward to working with the Minister on the achievement of all the objectives set out in the programme for government. As Minister Cannon has stated, the number of students staying within the education system in 2011-2012 will be significantly higher than was expected in previous years. This increase is welcome as it meets the objective to reduce the incidence of early school leaving nationally. However, in order to keep up with the increasing numbers of students remaining within the formal education system, it is predicted that approximately 160 additional mainstream teachers are required. Because of the recruitment embargo across the public service, it's not possible to simply recruit more teachers to accommodate this increase. And so the Minister has had extremely hard decisions to make. At present, there are about 1,125 language support posts in primary schools and 275 support posts at second level. These 1,400 posts are in addition to mainstream classroom teachers. These teachers allow schools to withdraw pupils for varying amounts of time to concentrate on the teaching of English. The phased reduction in the number of language support teachers was one of a number of measures introduced in the budget 2011 by the previous Fianna Fáil Green Party government. They proposed a phased reduction of 500 language support teachers over a 4-year period. These changes were due to become effective from September 11, with a proposed reduction of 125 language support teachers. Now we find that due to the embargo on recruitment and other constraints placed on us by the EU-IMF bailout deal negotiated by the previous government, it is necessary to accelerate this programme and increase the proposed reduction to 250 language support teachers this year. I'm sure that the decision to accelerate the already proposed reduction in the number of language support teachers in order to increase the number of mainstream teachers is one that was not taken lightly. Yet, as a teacher, I can completely understand the unpleasant reception that is to be anticipated by this result, or by this announcement. However, it is very important to realise that the Minister has sought to ensure that the most disadvantaged and vulnerable schools will be protected. The change will actually have little or no impact on schools with a high concentration, greater than 25% of pupils in need of language support. And the new allocation rules will only affect schools where less than 25% of the school population requires English language support. Students in such schools are eligible for the support for up to 2 years rather than the 3 years. And so it should be noted that the 2,500 students affected by this change in the allocation rules will already have received 2 years of support. Moreover, it should be noted that it's not envisaged that schools will have to lose any more than the 500 that, as I said, were proposed by the previous government, that were already intended to be lost. The Minister is taking a long-term view, and I think that's very important, that by accelerating this process now, it will actually help Ireland to recover faster and better. In relation to resource teachers, the news is better. Resource teaching hours are allocated by the NCSE, the National Council for Special Education, for students with special educational needs who require additional teaching support. The number of resource teachers to be allocated for this year, as the Minister has pointed out, has actually increased by 350 on last year to a total of 9,950. Therefore, it is important to note that there will be more resource teachers than last year, and that there has not been a cut in resource teachers despite reports to the contrary. I understand, as I said previously, that the Minister has difficult choices to make. The allocations proposed in the context of our changed economic circumstances are difficult. I would ask the Minister to prioritise special needs education and to ensure that the difficult decisions that he has to make, that the most vulnerable of our citizens are afforded the right and are protected most. Again, I would like to thank Minister Cannon for coming into the Chamber, and I wish both him and Minister Quinn continued success in the Department of Education.